So I'm making this video just as a little introduction for this project I've got in mind for this coming month in April. Now April is going to mark the 105th anniversary of the maiden voyage and sinking of the RMS Titanic, which is a subject I've been very interested in for quite a while. Now, I expect, like many people, my interest in Titanic started out with the James Cameron film. Got the making of book right here. So I saw it in the summer of 1998. I was 11. I finished off my school exams, and my parents took me to the cinema and see this film, and I really loved it. And I was trying to find out everything I could about it, watching all the documentaries there were on at the time. For a little while, I was a bit unsure about saying I liked this film because it suffered quite a hype backlash in the same way that Frozen did more recently, where it wasn't really cool to like it. But I did go to the cinema to see it again in 2012 when it was re-released for the 100th anniversary. And that was just a great experience, and I had to admit then, yeah, Titanic is actually my favourite film. So I thought I'd show you a few of the Titanic related things I've picked up over the years. Now I've got a number of Titanic books, some of them are physical, some of them are ebooks, but this one is my favourite, Titanic An Illustrated History, written by Don Lynch and illustrated by Ken Marshall. It's a very informative book, and as it says, it's an illustrated history. So the illustrations by Ken Marshall are what makes this one really great, so I'll just show you. See this really beautiful image here of the Titanic in Cherbourg with the Nomadic, the tender, right next to it. Next to this overall picture of the sinking here. And you can see how these images could have influenced the Cameron film, because I believe that Lynch and Marshall were actually historical advisors for James Cameron when he was making the film. And then at some point, probably quite soon after the film came out, I picked up this computer game, which is called Titanic Adventure Out of Time. I'm not sure how many people might have played this game back in the 90s. It's quite difficult to get it to work on modern computers, but there are quite a few videos on YouTube of people playing it. Basically, the game creates this reconstruction of the Titanic. It's quite an accurate reconstruction. It allows you to go to a whole bunch of places around the ship, the boat deck and the grand staircase, first class areas, Turkish bath, the squash court, a few of the third class areas, and the cargo hold at one point. Basically, the whole plot is you're this secret agent who's on this mission to recover a few stolen artifacts that are on board the ship before the iceberg hits and the ship sinks. And you get to go around talking to all these different characters. It's quite a short game, but it's quite enjoyable. I mean, I've played it so many times, I probably know most of the dialogue off by heart. This here is a boarding pass, which I got when I visited the Titanic Exhibition at the Luxor Casino in Las Vegas. And when I was there, you weren't allowed to take pictures inside the exhibition, but it was really great. Aside from all the artifacts there were reconstructions of cabins and the grand staircase. It's especially a good reconstruction of the enclosed promenade, where you can just walk along this promenade and there'll be this like starry sky outside the windows, and it's quite an eerie feeling walking along there. And right at the end of the exhibition, they have what's called the Big Piece, which is a piece of the Titanic that weighs about 15 tons. It was from the hull around sea deck. It has like portholes on it, and this was raised from the wreck in 1998, and so it's now part of this exhibition. And so you're able to go there and actually see a piece of what is actually Titanic. It's pretty incredible. And so on the back of this boarding pass, you've got information about a particular passenger. So this one was Mr. Edgar Samuel Andrew, age 18, from Buenos Aires, Argentina, travelling alone in second class to attend his brother's wedding in the United States. And at the end of the exhibition, you'd be able to see a list of passengers and whether they survived or not. And unfortunately, Mr. Edgar Samuel Andrew did not survive. There was really quite a low survival rate among the men in second class. I think there was something like 168 men and only 14 actually made it off the ship. And just last year, you might have seen it on my blog, I went to the Titanic Belfast. Now Belfast at Hull and Wharf is where the Titanic, as well as her sister ships Olympic and Britannic, were actually built. And in 2012 they created a museum there, pretty much on the spot where the construction took place. So if you're ever able to get to Belfast and see this museum, I definitely recommend it. You go for this whole tour where you talk about the context of Belfast and the construction of the ship, and a few recreations of cabins and things. And it all feels very personal, like you have all these actors kind of narrating different parts of it. And outside is the slipways where Olympic and Titanic were actually constructed. And it really felt quite moving to be standing on the actual spot where it happened, and I was kind of in awe, really. And then on the other side, you've got the this little ship called the Nomadic, which is a tender that was built to service the Olympic and Titanic and bring passengers out to them at Cherbourg in France because they were too big to actually dock there. And so the Nomadic is actually the only original White Star Line vessel which is still in existence today. It went through a few different jobs during the wars, and eventually was kept in Paris for a while, and but then it was brought back to Belfast and restored. And so it's great to see that there, because that little vessel would have been right next to the Titanic at one point, offloading various passengers. When I was in Belfast, I also picked up this little souvenir model here. Nice little model of the ship. Yeah. So anyway, what I've got planned for April is having a sort of a Titanic month, where I'm going to watch various films and a few TV programs that are based around the Titanic, and just give little reviews of them, both on my blog and also through videos on this channel. So I'm planning on giving priority to films that are focused on the Titanic itself, rather than things like The Unsinkable Molly Brown, which only feature the Titanic a little bit. So I've got things in mind like the 1943 film that was made as a propaganda film by the Nazis, A Night to Remember, which many people consider the best one. And with a little trepidation, I was also going to check out the animated films as well, the Italian animated films. I've seen the nostalgia critic reviews of those, and I might be able to get away with not seeing the third one, because apparently the Titanic doesn't really feature that much in that one. It's more about like the city of Atlantis and mermaids and things like that. So well, that should be an interesting experience. So I'm going to crack on with that in April, alongside Camp NaNoWriMo. It's going to be quite a busy month. I'll see how much I can get done. And I hope I'll be able to provide something interesting and informative for you. So thanks for watching.